I belong to this thing called Be My Eyes, this is the blind people, and they talk, and if they tell you, you have to be their eyes, you try to match focus. It's wonderful.
Okay.
All right, everybody try to turn on your mics. I'm trying to remember how this system works.
Not working.
I heard something. It takes a second, I guess. I'm still trying to learn everything. There you go.
And the Lord said,
We have power. Okay, as I was mentioning before, I'm gonna go ahead and help, normally with the chair and the vice chair out, it would fall to the secretary, but Charlene has said she's done enough talking, so I will help. I will help move things along, so I will help moderate the meeting in future, I'll go, so, and ask for motions and whatnot. So yes, we are here for the October 12th Historic Preservation Commission meeting, and we can go ahead and, let's see, do you all usually do a motion to accept the agenda? No, okay, I give my commissions, everybody does it a little bit different.
we can.
So we have no old business, we're gonna go straight down to number 3, new business, with the 921 Ocean Avenue. This is the First Presbyterian Church asking for some additional signage.
Okay, yeah, so you would scroll down the screen a bit to get to the, most people know where, the church is here. What the agenda is, the First Presbyterian is, go to the next one, down to where the first, yeah, there we go, that's good. Let's start with that one, that's good. Okay. What's proposed here are basically a comprehensive sign plan for the church. The plan is to install one name sign on Washington Avenue, which is the one you see right there, containing the name of the church, reference to Tree House Montessori and Children's House Montessori. It is to be in the same location as the existing sign. There's a photo of that in your packet for that location. When they go, they scroll down to the next one. Okay, there's the existing sign on Washington. The spot below it would be the location on Ocean Avenue, I believe. And that sign is simply to contain the name of the church itself, the top part of the previous sign diagram. The final part of it is to install 3 wayfinding signs in the campus. You see right there. Various locations as they go there plans to how that is located. Basically, get people visiting the church knowledge of where they need to go, how to get there. Now, within historic districts, the UDC sets out very different and specific regulations for signs within historic districts and related to churches. In this case, the sign on Washington is to be 30 square feet in area. And the one on Ocean is to be 15 square feet. Now, under the UDC regulations, both of those exceed the maximum sign area permitted for churches and schools, which would be 12 square feet is what's set by the UDC. As far as the wayfinding signs, there's really not a specific reference in the UDC for wayfinding signs. There are allowances for traffic flow, directional signs, and bulletin board type signs. And those can be up to 50 square feet in area, and the proposed wayfinding signs are 43, so those are in compliance in terms of area with the UDC. Now, as a different measure, the development regulations also give the Historic Commission, the authority to recommend to the Zoning Adjustment Board as an exception to the standard sign regulations. You can recommend that the zoning board approve these signs as exceptions to the standard regulations with the criteria that the proposed signs are consistent with the purpose and intent of the historic district, and they are historically authentic. So, as I said, the signs on the street, at least on Washington, and on Ocean also exceed the national area allowed for name signs. But y'all do have the ability to recommend those to the zoning adjustment board as exceptions. So I've added two potential motions to the page. One would be to recommend to the zoning board that these are consistent. The other was simply to recommend that denial of the signs that they do exceed the UDC requirements. That's up to you in your deliberation. And we do have folks from First Presbyterian here to talk about it and answer questions. Also, I can answer any questions you might have. You want to go into that? Thank you.
Did y'all want to add anything to it? Get up and speak.
Well, it seems pretty
Yes.
simple.
Yes, so if y'all have any questions for them.
How difficult would it be for you to get the sign on the street under compliance with the?
I was going by the 15 feet is actually what the current sign is that had been approved, that was installed about 10 years ago. It did not fall under what the UDC requirements were.
Hey, Stacy, I'm sorry. Just because we won't be able to hear you in the minutes, can you come up and talk to the microphone? You may have to turn it on the bottom, I'm not sure if we've got that. Just on the mic itself, it's not actually connected to the very base. It's an old one.
We could come under compliance, we can shrink it in. I was going by basically what we had that's sitting outside right now. That was, I believe, in 2012 or 2013 when that one was approved.
So you're talking about basically you're finding something to fit within those pillars?
Within those pillars that are over
Otherwise,
there.
you'd have to reconstruct a
Correct.
relational sign.
Right, in the 15 or the 12 square feet, that would really just be the main sign that is down there. The issue that we have been brought to us was the Montessori schools needed identification. And they have a lot of parents, we've got two schools that are on the premises. One is visible, one is contained in our education building. And that's the Treehouse Montessori School, and that's the one where the parents really don't know where to go. There's no identifying features, there's no identification anywhere on the campus. And therein is where lies the issue. They actually wanted more to be able to put their phone number on it and everything. And I was trying to put the bare minimum to at least let parents know where to turn in to go to the school. The other option that we had was we told them, we could put a sandwich board or something outside there. We didn't really like that. We don't like the look of that. And it would have to be removed daily. And we didn't want that to be a burden on the school, but we also want to allow the parents to just kind of know directionally, or if they have grandparents picking up the children, where they need to go. It is a large campus. It gets confusing once you're on campus to figure out where to pick up your children. There's two areas in the front and in the back, and we're only trying to identify the main area.
So if I understand you correctly, the larger sign is basically the same size sign that you had there before. You're just
Correct.
replacing it with a different.
Correct.
It's not
We were
big.
right. We were just trying to replace, or just kind of update it with a more simple, clean, a clean pattern on there. Just kind of a timeless font on it, so it looked more classic in the historical, district. And then adding the two, smaller signs underneath. We could shrink those down, but again, when you've got somebody driving 25 miles an hour, if you've got it too small and the font's too small, you might as well not have anything there.
But it's gonna go between the two pillars that you've already.
Yes, so the idea would be to have the pillars that are up there, they would need to be raised just a little bit to get, the other two signs under there. We didn't want to raise it too much because we're trying to keep it low profile.
Sure.
And, but it would need to be those two signs, and I tried to make it, I think I have it, it's maybe 18 inches tall. I was trying to go as minimal as I could where it would still be visible from the street driving through.
That's all.
I only have one question. Who determined that there was the need for these signs?
It was the leadership of the church. Our session has been discussing needing more signage. We've grown, I've worked there for almost 12 years now. And so when I started, back in 2012, it was around 250 members. We're now up to 650 members. We have added, more space in the sanctuary, more space in the fellowship hall. And a lot of new members that we have talked to still get confused around the campus and trying to figure out where to go, where the main parking lot is. Is it the gravel lot that's on Jackson and Ocean? Is it the paved lot that's on Washington and Ocean? The campus spans so far, and we've got, a church office, a Montessori school, we've got a sanctuary, we've got an education building, we have a chapel, we have a harbor house for the youth, and we've got two main parking lots. And we just have so many people asking us, where do I go?
Is it a safety issue for these children that, and they're standing out there waiting for somebody to pick them up and people can't find them, or?
It's not, that's partially why we want to have, down the wayfinding signage down by the education building. Because people don't know that is where the treehouse is. They're on the third floor.
I've been going to that church for 19 years and I can't find my way.
Right, so, on the third floor,
Everything
it's
changes.
kind of inconspicuous of where they're at.
Yeah.
And granted, they'll have teachers and stuff, when they're downstairs, but also just kind of for
Make the flow go better.
make the flow go better. And, just with the children's house, it's easy to identify because you can see the children's house from the street, whereas the tree house is a lot less visible. So a lot of that also came from the tree house wanting some identification to where their school is located. Because right now it just says 921, Ocean Avenue, but their school is not technically on Ocean Avenue, but it's on the campus of the church. So it confuses people that think that they need to turn onto Ocean Avenue and then they can't find where they're supposed to go from there.
I guess my only concern is that if we approve this, then we're setting a precedent for not following the guidelines, and I don't feel like this is a true hardship,
Mhm.
but that's my 2 cents.
Understand?
Yeah, I must be easily trained, but my granddaughter went to Treehouse for several years and I never had any problem getting around.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure I see the need. And especially if you're talking about replacing the sign that exists there already, which is the right height and the right size and does fit the neighborhood and so forth. That sign, between those two columns, I can certainly see, an additional sign with additional, but I can't see them both. I just don't see a need for it in both locations. And I'm curious as to how that need was determined. I mean, did we have people go missing or?
No, are you talking about the main sign on Ocean Avenue and on Washington, where it would be the duplicate sign?
Primarily, yeah.
Okay, I think, when we had remodeled, we had, intention of wanting to put a sign on Ocean. We had a lot of people coming in from Jackson Avenue that again didn't know technically where to go or where the campus started. But with the treehouse, wanting to be added on, the Washington Avenue sign, which is in our lower parking lot. That was a request from the Treehouse Montessori School, as with them being a, pretty much a ministry of ours, we wanted to be able to accommodate what, their request was. But also seeing that, it was at the same time, if we do it for the treehouse, it's almost setting a precedent. If we do it for the treehouse, we should also include the children's house, which has been there much longer, and went, wholly without much identification as well.
I understand that. Right now. And of the signs that you're, saying to put on, in the courtyard, which of these signs that you have in this illustration here, which of these is putting down?
The one on the left, which looks like the kind of the directional signs downtown, that would be the one that goes in the courtyard. So that one, if you can flip that. There we go. So the one that looks kind of like the directional signage down at Government in Washington, that would go in the courtyard. No, that would be the left side.
Oh, yeah, left. There you go, that.
Yes, that one would be in the courtyard. The middle sign we were looking to put down between our sanctuary and education building, which would be down in the lower lot. That really isn't that visible from the street if you've got cars in the parking lot. And then that other one would be up by the church office, which would be on Washington and Ocean. Which I do have pictures further in the packet of where each one would be located.
Thank you.
So yeah, right there, that top picture, that would be where the one on the left would be. So in that grassy area, and we would be removing the white First Presbyterian Church sign. That is correct, yes.
That would come out and be replaced with something.
Yeah, up by the concrete is where that sign would be. And then it would be that one on the left, and then the white First Presbyterian Church sign has been old and rotting, and we would be removing that.
I guess my question I would have is, if we wanted your sign to be in compliance, how would that determine the two colors you have? Is that gonna cause more of a problem for you to be within versus you just putting a sign in there? I guess, is that gonna create?
For the one on Washington,
Yeah.
the main one that we're
Yes.
trying. Yeah, the difficulty with that is, we would end up shrinking the main church sign to be able to get it into that 12 square feet. And if we were to shrink that and also have to identify the tree house and the children's house, it would almost be, unnecessary to do that because it would be too small to write. So I think we would have to go back to the schools and say we need to find some alternative. But at the same time, like I said, I don't want to put banners out there. I don't want to put a sandwich board sign. But at the same time, like I said, I know the children's house has been there for many, many years. And they have gotten by without identification, but they are, visible from the street. Whereas the tree house is the one that they were more of the ones saying, we need our parents to know where we're at.
And just to clarify, Stacy, these that with the columns, those are actually on Ocean and Jackson. So
That's on Ocean
Columns are actually on
Avenue.
West
It's
End.
on campus.
So if you're coming in from Jackson, we had talked about, we talked about a lot of like the cruisers that we would talk to as they came by. They're like, what is this place? And I was like, we really don't have identification coming from that. It's coming from Jackson. So that was why our pastors in our session had asked if we would at least include it just to see what the commission decided.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Okay, so I'm gonna go out there and make a motion to recommend the approval of certificate of appropriateness for First Presbyterian Church at 921 Ocean Avenue, contingent on the zoning adjustment board's approval of an exception to the regulations for this item.
I second.
All those in favor? Aye.
No, was that unanimous? Okay, so two opposed to Charlene. Oh goodness, y'all. Shirley and Michael opposed. So we have a 3-2, so it just passed, okay. Okay, split that. Okay, well, this will then need to go, we'll take it to Zab first next month, okay. So it won't go to the board first, it'll go to ZAB next month. And then after that, if they approve it, then we take both of those approvals to.
Exactly. You got it. And the zoning board meets, they will meet on the second Tuesday of November, which I
I think it's the 14th.
14th.
Second Tuesday.
November 14th, 5 o'clock in here also.
Okay. 14, 5 o'clock. You're done. Thank you so much.
Thank
you. Appreciate y'all's time.
Okay, your next item, I will scroll down to. So we have, 1418 Government Street is requesting a certificate of appropriateness to designate the building as a historic landmark. This is the St. James United Methodist Church, and this is the first step to them establishing themselves on the registries as a historic landmark. So, wait.
Okay. You got the photo of it up there. Just scroll down a little bit to show the existing building. Okay. This is not in a historic district, but you can see the green there is the identified, the nearest historic district there along Floyd Avenue. But what is before you is a request to designate the church as a historic landmark site, which is something permitted within the historic district regulations of the development code. Also, the church officials provided the history of the church, the photos of the building. There is the attached to the report for your consideration. And the process that's involved here is that y'all, as the historic division, do make a recommendation. Does this warrant, in your opinion, designation as a historic site of Ocean Springs? That recommendation will be forwarded to the Mississippi Department of Archives and History. They will be, that be their responsibility to make a thorough analysis of the church and its history. They also make a recommendation about the exact boundaries of the landmark site. Their recommendation then will come back to y'all for a public hearing that will specify the boundaries of the landmark site and the designation of that. After that, the Board of Aldermen then will consider an ordinance adopting the church as a landmark site. That's kind of in a nutshell, the process that's involved. So the motion is for you to recommend to the State Department of Archives and History to do the next step, is to make an analysis and recommendation of this. You have representatives from the church, Mr. Ralph Walker, and you get with our folks.
Dennis Edwards.
Dennis on here to answer any questions you might have about the church itself. Thank you. That's it. Do you have anything you want to add, anything specific?
I'm just gonna say, I approve of this.
Oh, man.
100%. I don't have any problem with any of this. 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Well, then make a motion. I make a motion that we move forward to allow them to get on the historical registry. for the city of Ocean Springs.
I second.
And that was Bonnie and Karen.
A vote?
Yes,
Do you need a roll call or just a motion?
no, just a motion,
That was
so
just the motion.
all
All those
supporting,
in favor?
all in favor, that's
Aye.
all. Any opposed? No, motion passed.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this will go to the Board of Aldermen next week. It'll be on theirs, and it'll be on consent. It's 6 o'clock, but it'll be on the consent agenda, so if it doesn't get pulled for discussion, once they pass the consent agenda, it's passed. And then Wade will work with you the following day to,
Letter to the Department of Archives with the minutes of that, send that out to them
Okay.
and say,
and that'll take an extra couple weeks, so it'll go to the board on the 17th. Then we have to wait till the following meeting to get certified minutes, so that'll be November 7th. And then once we have those on the 8th, then we'll, Wade will put together the letter and everything and have that ready to send up to Archives and History after that. The next steps. Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Yes, something to be.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Usually people
Thank you
want to
very
be
much.
out of the register, so.
No.
Thank
you.
Last night, thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
Item is the approval of minutes. There's not any changes or questions. We need a motion to approve.
go one more time.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting on September 14th, 2023. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Okay, no audience requests, nothing administrative. Just need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Charlene wants to go home. All right,
I have another meeting that I'm supposed to be at 6 o'clock.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right. You never know. You never know.